I didn't even click film. Oh, you bastard.
That was a stubborn one. Now I'm messing with the electrics. Shit, it's probably a good time to remove the battery. This is where all the weight is going to be saved. Oh, there's money everywhere. Holy smokes. This is the first M3 I'm testing. 120 clicks north of Perth, Western Australia. On the bottom of the world, this is a prime example of why vehicles are the perfect source of adventure. They are literally a vessel for the opportunity to have fun and 100% live in the moment.
There's a lot of sky in that, wasn't there? I didn't even click film. Oh, you bastard.
Don't worry, I got it. This is my friend George from Australia. On starting this new car project, the plan is to build something that myself can take on adventures in all manner of places, and the end goal, the vision if you like, is driving through Europe in the Alps, climbing mountains on twisty roads, engulfed in the soundtrack of a burbling V8. So now the goal is set, the vision board is pinned, dropping back down to the present. I need to start from the beginning, and that means I need to get to work. And we're in! The Z4 build is finally happening. I have been busy putting a new floor in, which doesn't go right to the back of the tent, but it's level again and it should be a lot stronger, ready for lifting some heavy engines out and in. I've had a big rejig of the workbench. The tool chest down the far end in the corner was neglected. I could never get to it. It wasn't in a handy position. We've got a lot more workbench storage. I've thrown a load of things out. This should make me a bit more productive. I'm just pleased to start this project. Before we get cracking with the teardown, I want to just explain a bit my ethos for this build. Since building the Pt.2, I've come to learn what kind of car I want to build next, the type of car I'm going to get the most use out of, and I think I've worked out how I'm going to get the most enjoyment from the finished project in my limited spare time. Now that being said, this will not be a fully blown race car. It will be more of an OEM++ fast road spec. I want to take a lot of weight out of the car, but not lose some of the creature comforts. At the end of the day though, I still want a fast, exciting, loud car. That's a unique weekend driver, so something in between a daily driver and a race car. As we go through the build, I will explain the weight I want to save and the added power we will have with the V8 engine. Now in terms of difficulty, the Pt.2 was tricky at times. There was a lot of fabrication with the two chassis and the aero. However, this build could be equally as difficult. Even though it's a swap, I want to do it properly, and therefore there could be some serious work, possibly bulkhead modifications to get the engine even more mid-front for good weight distribution. I need to get all the M3 running gear, prop, diff, hubs, brakes, power steering. So there could be a lot of subframe modifications, new mounting points, a fair bit of fabrication underneath the car. The project, similar to the Pt.2, will probably evolve as we go along. I haven't fully decided on wheels, aero, specifically the way the car will look, and trying to bring together, I think, one of BMW's best looking cars and the peak M3 engine, which is the S65 in my opinion. I want it to be the best M car I've ever driven. First job I want to do before I pull anything off the car is I want to get some base measurements. This should help me determine whether I need to make any modifications to the bonnet, for example, when the new engine goes in. The ride height at the front is about as I want it. I will now take the measurement of the height of the bonnet from the ground. The gap in the bonnet is 30mm. I will need to deduct that from this measurement. 905 minus 30. The next measurement, which might be tricky, as I need to get under the car, is the sump to floor. Let's take some of the guards off. The first of many bolts. Rare to see an under tray that isn't completely destroyed. The sump's quite high because the engine's on a bit of a tilt. And then I'll take a subframe measurement as well. Subframe's low, 90mm. I've also found this piece. This must have been sat on the under tray. Worry about him later. I'll quickly make note of the height of the arch to the ground, both at the front and the rear of the car, just so we'll have a good baseline. Now you have first-hand experience of how bad the English roads are this time of year. The last thing to take off in order to remove the front bumper fully, I need to drain the headlight washer lines. It's now time to drain the radiator. Progress is being made. The nut on top of the bolt for the crash bar is rounded off. I'm using a 16mm socket, but both sides are rounded off. I don't have the right T-socket for the other end, so I'm just going to use mole grips. And it's starting to go. I'm hoping I can achieve the same thing this time. Good thing about this piece is aluminium, it's nice and light. This can certainly go back on the car. I am in the process of trying to take out the rad pack along with the front slam panel. I need to remove the airbox to get to the bolts at the back. I'll get this section of the intake off next. Bit of oil around there. There goes the aircon. That's one lump right there. Now I have good access to the engine, we can start thinking about getting the 3 litre out. I need to disconnect everything going from the car to the engine. That means the wiring harness and various bits and pieces need to come off. I want to get the gearbox and engine out at the same time. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to keep the engine for another project or just sell it on a crate with the engine loom ECU complete. So in theory it would be a complete kit ready to plug and play. I'll decide once I've test fitted the V8 and there's no turning back. Another nice lightweight part. I've never understood why BMW put fake nuts on their engine covers. Yeah, figure that one out. They hold the bracket to the plastic cover. That simplifies things. Now I'm messing with the electrics, it's probably a good time to remove the battery. There we go. On this side of the engine, I think I have most of the things disconnected. I've removed another air conditioning pipe from down there. I can leave this heat shield on. I plan on disconnecting the wiring loom, so I can leave all the coil packs and all that plugged onto the engine. The coolant pipe for the heater I've disconnected, which just runs up to the bulkhead. I've disconnected the rest of the intake. If I can sort the wiring out here and get it unplugged from the main loom in the car, then the next step will be to jack the back of the car up and address what's under there. Good luck to whoever's going to put that back in. One ECU. We have one set of wires still attached. I'm going to have to delve deeper, probably through the bulkhead. Then all the other wires will just come off, complete with the engine. In theory. This has had an oil leak at some point. Apparently the oil filter housing was leaking. That's why it has a fancy new housing. You can see where it's pulled in there, so it wasn't cleaned up properly when it was leaking. Right, got the bolts out for the exhaust. I just need to unplug the sensors. Just clean them up. Oil all over them as well. Based on the fact I need to find out where the remains of the wiring goes underneath the dashboard, and I need to disconnect the gearbox linkages, it makes sense to start getting the dashboard out and at least the center trim. I've made an absolute schoolboy error when it comes to removing the seats. I disconnected the power and the seats only move on electric. I can't get to the back currently, so I'm hoping when I connect the battery again, I should still have power to the ignition, and I'm hoping I don't set fire to all the wiring that's at the front. Shit. Thank God. Everything still works. Oh, it's still going to be tricky. Ah, £2. Winning. £2 over there. Cha-ching. Oh, £3. This car's making me money. This is where all the weight is going to be saved. Holy smokes, these are heavy for such a small seat. Quality, right? Oh yeah, surprised they were bolted in. The weight alone would hold them in place. With the seats next to each other, you can see the driver's side as normal has a lot more wear. It's not ripped, it's just kind of gone all crocodile skin. Passenger side is pretty mint. See what we can find under the seats. Oh, here we go. We're up in the tally. I can't use that anymore, can I? That's an old pound. Oh, there's money everywhere. Got dog treats, 20p, 25, 30, 50p. Supermarket trolley coin. It's about as useful as the old pound coin. Oh, another 20p, 70, another trolley coin. That may be it for this side. An unopened factory BMW medical kit. I'll be keeping that one. An MGM Adventure pen. Excellent. All right, it's so dark in here. I'll start getting some trim out and then I'll give you an update. This is where I start breaking stuff. Progress is slow. Things are moving about though. I've had the first plastic casualty. That bracket right there should be fastened to the corner of this plastic piece. Not the end of the world. Could be a lot worse. I've taken the glove box out. I must start labelling the plugs. It saves figuring things out down the line. I was hoping the carpet down here wasn't all one piece. Unfortunately it is, meaning I have to take the dashboard out before I can see exactly where the remaining wiring for the engine goes. No doubt it will be to ignition, meaning there's a whole lot more work to do. Well, this is as far as we get for the first strip down episode. At the end of the next one, I promise we'll lift the engine out. Plans are in the works for the Dona car. I'm actually going to look at another one tomorrow. Fingers crossed it's the one. As always, thank you for watching. Go subscribe and I'll see you very soon. First M3 I'm testing on the way back from the airport. Feels heavy, that's the first thing I'll say, but it definitely sounds like a V8. Yeah, everything seems alright on the car. Probably over the market price. It's a bit too clean to brake. The rod bearings have just been done, no leaks, it all looks tidy. So, I don't know if I have the heart to brake such a clean car, but at least I'm getting a drive of this car, so I know what the engine feels like. But yeah, 1600 kilos, you can definitely feel it, but it should be absolute rocket ship in a lightweight Z4. On 88,000 miles. Oil is up to temperature now. Brakes look pretty new. Wheels are absolutely mint. Yeah, sounds pretty sweet under here. There's no smoke. It looks pretty good underneath as well. But as you know, we only need it for mechanical bits. Let's head on back. There's no special bits on the interior other than the red leather, which they all seem to be in. Yeah, box feels good. Just feels like a bit of a tank, really. Right, let's get it back to the dealer in one piece. The question is, where am I going to put all of these bits in my extensive workshop I have? I also found this under the seat, which is a missing part of the under tray. At least I have that and a co-op bag.